This stadium is I want to go every year. Every year. I'm like my agent, I'm going to Kenya. Please let me go to the Kenyan meet.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, viewers from wherever you're watching us from. It's your host here, Wima Sports, Jermaine Odhiambo, and this show has been brought to you by Osoita Lodge, indeed, where guests become family. Speaking of family and guests, today we have an amazing family and guest joining us, and she's all the way from Florida, US. She's been an amazing athlete, and she'll let us know much about her. And before I get to introduce her, but you already know who she is. She doesn't need an introduction. None other than Shannon Ray. Most welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I am so excited about this interview.
You're welcome. In Kenya, we say karibu nyumbani.
Karibu nyumbani.
Yeah, karibu nyumbani means welcome home.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so just to break the ice, can you tell us about your journey as a sprinter from your early days in New Orleans and representing USA in the world stage?
Okay, so I started off running track when I was little at the age of 8 years old. And I knew that I was fast because I used to race the boys in the streets and barefoot. And then my parents were like, we're going to put her in track. And ever since then, I have ran like for club teams. I ran in high school, middle school, and then off to college.
Did you play hide and seek? I bet no one could hide from you.
No, not at all. No one was catching me.
No one was catching you.
Nope.
Yeah. So how did attending Xavier, is it Xavier Prep?
Xavier, yes.
Yes, and later the University of Mississippi contribute towards, your development as an athlete and as an individual. How did that shape you?
Okay, so Xavier Prep is an all-girls school. It is predominantly Black. So, I feel like Xavier Prep, my track team, we were really serious. We wanted to win state championships. So my coach was also serious. So he would put us in every event to win. So we always wanted, like, our goal was to win the state meet. And then that later prepared me for college, where I ended up attending Ole Miss, which was a predominantly, well, I wouldn't say predominantly white, but it's a PWI institution. So it was kind of a change for me, but I knew I wanted to experience something different, a step outside of my normal thing of what I was used to. Because growing up in New Orleans, we're surrounded by majority of New Orleans is Black. So I was like, let me go outside and see the other side of the world. So Ole Miss definitely has helped me with like time management and just prepare me for the professional life, and just not only on the sports but of my career also.
So at what point, did you make this decision to pursue a professional track and field?
Well, my family they're big in sports. So my dad would watch track meets and the Olympics, and I would watch people like Shelly Ann and Carmelita. So I was like, dang, I would like to be like them one day. Like, I would like to run professional. When I was going to college, I was like, I want to compete after college. And then when I was in college, my first year, I tried out for the USA World Championship team, but I didn't make it. But just being there my freshman year made me feel like, okay, I can do something in this sport. If I can make it here in college, then what knows what could happen once I'm out of college.
How competitive is it to make it to the US team?
Oh my God.
For track.
Well, first you have to make it to try out. you can't just try out. So first you have to run at least somewhat of the standard or be close to the standard, and
Yeah.
then you can try out. But you have to be within that 32. Only 32 people can try out for each event, so you have to make that 32 mark. So it's so
Which
hard.
what's the mark? What's the mark? What's the 32 mark?
So, well, it varies. They want to try to fill the lanes, but
Yeah.
most of the time, 11:25 will probably be like the last time to get in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so at some point you changed coaches. How was it, changing coaches? What are some of your reasons for changing coaches? And how are you able to adapt uh between the two different coaches so to enable you to stay sharp and be
Yes.
ready to compete?
Okay, so my first coach was a college coach. So that was kind of kind of different. Well, I was used to a college system, so it's basically like I was just doing the college system, but
Hmm.
without the school work. So I was training with them, and it was okay, but our lives did not add up as like I was training with the collegiates, and it was okay, but and I moved to Arizona, so it was a big transition. And also, I wasn't aware of how the professional track world worked. I just knew maybe if I run fast, something is going to happen. So it was pretty much different. But my last coach, he ended up telling me he did not want to coach me anymore. I guess he just wanted to focus on his collegiate athletes. So
Hmm.
he was like, I think it would be best for you to go into a professional group. So I went up and I called Coach Gary Evans, who's my coach now in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
And he said, yes, I'll accept you. So I moved here in November of 2021, which was was it November 2020? Well, I'm not sure, but it was the year that the Olympics was in.
Okay.
so, so I moved here, and it's such a different training around professionals than collegiates. Like, because the thing about professionals, we all have the same story. Some of us are not signed, some of us are signed. So you have people who know your struggle, and then you also have people who you want to be like and become that contracted athlete, and then you
Yeah.
also have a coach who understands both sides, so who can help you get into meets and who is understanding. So being in a professional group was the best decision I've ever made.
Definitely, definitely, and has its own demands. So you're
Yes.
here, you're setting yourself towards being a professional. You're in a new place, you're in a new town, and you're also having to do other things as well. So
Yes.
out of track, you work as an attorney analyst. So maybe tell us, how do you juggle all these things?
Well, I don't have a contract. I am on a Adidas bonus deal, which means you get paid when you run certain times, and also you get paid when you compete really well in the meets such as silver, diamond league, and gold.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's my life. So so that's not much money I can live off of.
yeah, yeah,
I have to pay my rent and other things too. So my job is I work as an attorney analyst, which I'm an auditor for a law firm that I work with. So I go to practice in the morning, and then after practice, my job is located in Phoenix, Arizona, which means they're on West Coast time. So they're about 3 hours behind me. So once it's time to log into work, my job is just now starting. So I do have to practice early
yeah.
in the morning. I'm not gonna lie, I am tired once I get from practice. I just want to sleep,
Sleep.
but I can't. I have to work and pay the
Yeah,
bills, but I do love my job because I'm able to travel. Like when I was in Kenya, I was working my job on the days that I did not run. So it's the beauty of having a job where I can do at any time.
Yeah, yeah. This is how dynamic the world is changing, and technology making things to be so small, including us having this interview right now.
Right. I'm so
Different.
happy. I mean, I would have flew to Kenya if you needed me.
We are looking forward to having you real soon when you can. Yeah,
Yes.
so you've excelled in both 100 meters and 200-meter events. Do you have a preference between the two? And how do you mentally and physically prepare for each race?
Oh,
Because
that is a really good question. So I actually love the 200 more than the 100, but I don't know. It seems as if my 100 just is starting to just become
Mhm,
better. I wish, I don't know, but I feel like the 100 is such a strict. I don't want to. It's such a technical race where you want to have a really good start, you want to have a great drive phase, and then you want to have some great top end speed. How do I prepare for each race? I try to work on my weaknesses because I know my strength, which is my turnover speed, will always come. So my weakness would be I wouldn't say my start, but I would say like my seventh and eighth step get a little short. So I try to practice on really getting explosive out the blocks and having each contact foot within the same length.
mhm. Do you work out with Shakari at times?
No, I don't work out with her. She works out with the Nike group here, but
Okay.
she's based in Florida.
I remember, we still remember her finish. Her finish during the Kip Keino was
Oh
she
yes,
wasn't she
yeah, she powered through it. That was actually
Hey,
my first time racing against her. And I was like, she's gonna have a good start. She's gonna have a good start. And I tried my best and she did well.
yeah.
But it was a really good race though.
So as a seasoned athlete, what advice would you give to aspiring sprinters in Kenya, in Africa, in the US, and who are just wanting to start their career as athletes? And as a world-class sprinter, what role do you believe sports development plays in nurturing young athletes and shaping their athletic careers towards being a sprinter?
Okay, so first, if you would like to become a sprinter, the weight room is definitely important
Weight room.
because the weight room is definitely important. Weight room actually helps that you don't get injured a lot.
Mhm.
So sprinting is a lot of hard contacting off the ground, coming out the blocks really strong, and really trying to keep your posture right. But the most important thing about sprinting is really just trying to have good technique and being able to hold it.
Yeah. So
Yes.
so they need to work on those things. Any
Yes.
any any equipments that one needs, or the basic equipments, or something basic if someone doesn't have equipments, what workouts can
Um
they do?
Okay, sleds definitely help, but if they do not have sleds, they can use a resistance band and have someone pull them. So if you do not have sleds, so that's gonna make you stronger in
Mhm.
running.
Okay. You came to Kenya, Kip Keino Classic.
Yes.
Could you share your experience participating in Kip Keino Classic 2023, and what were your highlights and challenges of the event for you?
Okay, so my first time competing was in 2022,
Mm-hmm.
and I immediately walked out and I was like, this crowd is loud. This is the loudest stadium I have ever been in
I
as far as track.
I was there 2022. I saw you actually.
Oh my God. I was like, these people love track.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, I hope I can run fast. But actually, the first time wasn't the best time. I ran the
Mm-hmm.
100,
Mm-hmm.
and the starter popped the gun really, really fast. I did not know that, but I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
So, one girl, when we were running the 100, she cramped up and she was supposed to run a 200. So I asked my agent, hey, could you get me in the 200? And he got me in the 200. And I said, okay, he's going to pop the gun really fast. So get set really fast. And then that's how I did really good in the 200. But this stadium is I want to go every year. Every year. I'm like, my agent, I'm going to Kenya. Please let me go to the Kenyan. So
Well,
the stadium, the crowd, everyone was screaming like my last name. They were like,
mm-hmm.
Ray, Ray, Ray. It was that was the best track meet ever. That was like one of the best track meets ever.
Awesome, awesome. Kenya is usually a lovely country, and
Yes.
we appreciate all athletes equally. And if you're good, you're good. We'll give you a shout out anytime, anytime.
Yeah.
So Kenya is renowned for long distance
Hmm.
running success, but in your view, what potential do you see for Kenyan athletes in track sprinting specifically uh, over the years? What can you say about that?
As far as like what the sprinters can bring to Kenya,
Yes.
I'm starting to see the development in the sprinters, and the sprinters are doing really well. But I try to like God has a timing for everybody, and
Yeah.
so when it's their time to shine, they will shine, and they are doing they're making progress, and they're doing well, and I feel like you guys do have the right resources there, because when I was getting worked on, she was like, yeah, we have, I don't know if you know what human tech car is.
No.
Well, it's a machine that helps create circulate blood flow, and she was like, yes,
Okay.
we have this machine here, and it's only like
Oh,
$30.
you're saying the Normatec, right?
No, not the Normatech.
Uh-huh.
It's like Winter Care human tech car.
No, I don't know it. Maybe I'll check it out.
Yes. So you guys have
Yeah.
that machine, and you offer it to your athletes. And when I like watch the Kenyans sprint and stuff like that, you have like sleds and stuff. So you guys seem like you have a lot of great resources.
So we need to use them more, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so how do you think Kenyan sprinters can leverage their endurance and mental strength to excel in shorter distances like 100 and 200 meters?
I'm sorry, how can they
How can they leverage their strengths of having endurance naturally and
Mhm.
now mental strength to excel in shorter races like 100 and 200 meters?
So majority of the time when you have a lot of stamina, the 200 is the perfect race for you. Um,
Hmm.
and also when you have stamina, you can have more top end speed than others. Like sometimes in the 200, you'll see the people who run 400, they will not, their speed won't be there quite, but they'll, they'll start to, while everyone's slowing down, they'll be moving faster because they're able to hold their speed for longer. So, really, I think just finding out your strengths and your weaknesses, and just finding ways to improve them both. Like if you know your stamina is good, then keep your stamina. But if your strength, well, if your speed isn't there, then like I said, the weight room, doing like a lot of sprint drills and making sure your technique is fine.
Your thoughts on Ferdinand? Do you think he'll beat Bolt?
Volt.
Do you think Omanyala will be able to beat Bolt's record by the time he retires?
Oh my God. I am rooting for him every time he runs by. Heart starts going past because I want him to win. But he
Yeah.
is so consistent. He's so
Hmm.
consistent, and even when he gets second, he still smiles and walks
Yeah.
away. And I love that humbleness about him. But he's just waiting on his moment. But he will get there. He will get it.
He will get it. I'm sure he will.
He does a really great job of keeping his composure too. Even like in the bigger races, smaller races, he has a really good technique for the finish.
Yeah. Yeah. So have you ever had a chance to interact with while you are here? You've mentioned already the physio guys you interacted with. Any other coaches or sprinters that you interacted with, and how was it for you?
Um, I like as far as the Kenyan sprinters.
Yes.
Oh yes, so I actually my first time was it my first interaction was with um we were in Atlanta and we were in the elevator together.
Mhm.
Um, I don't want to pronounce his name wrong.
You can say it. I'll help you.
No, because you guys are gonna talk about me.
No, no way.
Mr. Kenya Sprinter. That's what I want to call him. The
Okay,
Kenya Sprinter.
the Kenyan
He
sprinter.
the Kenya Sprinter. The king, because that's what you guys treat him like.
Yeah.
So we were in, he was like, I asked him like what he was ordering for lunch or what he's eating for lunch because he had something that smelled really good in his hand. And he was like, oh, um, it was we were in the elevator and then I smelled it and then he was like, "Oh, there's a Kenyan restaurant and they knew I was in town, so they gave me loads of food." He was like, "Do you want some?" And I was like, this seemed awkward, but I was like, sure, free food and it's canned food. Why not? So I got some food from him. I got me a plate and everything, and it was good. And then he was like, I was like, I'll be at the track meet in Kenya. And he was like, okay, I'll see you there. So we like keep in touch through Instagram and stuff like that. So I'm always rooting for him. So he's one of my friends.
Yeah, he's such a great guy and such an inspiration to Kenya in terms of sprinting. And you know, his humility almost matches with Eliud's. Eliud's Kipchoge's humility is in another level, but Ferdinand is also such a great guy, really humble
Mhm.
and he carries a lot of pressure on his shoulders. Even the last meet, the pressure was real. You know, it's
Oh,
different. It's different when your president is standing there watching you run.
he's carrying Kenya on his back, but
Yeah.
you guys respect him. He had did his like victory lap, and I just recorded him, and I was just so amazed. You guys show him so much of love. Like there's no love, like no love can compare to that. That was amazing. The entire stadium is full. Everyone's cheering. Like nothing compares
Mm.
to that. So I had to capture that moment for him, and he was like, "Send me the video," and I sent it to him.
Yeah, so how important is it for athletes to have access to proper training facilities, coaching and support systems in their athletic journey?
It's really important, really, really important. But I can also speak from a person who is unsigned. So, I when you're unsigned, we do. Of course, I budget my money to make sure, like, okay, let me set some money aside for my treatment and stuff like that. But um, as just as much as you're training hard, it's important to have that recovery, which means getting the correct amount of sleep because you can get less sleep and then wonder why you are not performing well. Taking like your vitamins. We do a lot of hard work. We practice 4 hours a day in the sun, just
Ooh.
training really, really hard. So your body needs that nourishment to like make yourself have you come back for the next day or the next race. So you have to rebuild your muscles and make sure they're
Yeah.
all nice. My coach like to say, the our bodies is a car. When it's
Mhm.
time to get a massage, that check engine light come on, or you're feeling something there, go get a massage, go get your car checked, and then you'll be ready to go. but it's very important. But if you do not have the right resources to do that, then I suggest taking ice baths, taking salt baths. If you don't have access to a massage, or you don't have access to like human touch car or anything else, but recovery on your own.
Yeah, recovery is key, definitely. And
Yes.
and I like your coach's analogy of your body as a car. I would like to shift it and say your body is like a rally car, because a rally car, I'm just from the rally last week. I'm an official in the rally, so I volunteer as a stage controller. So
Okay.
yeah, so in the rally, a normal car you can afford to have it in whichever state, but a rally car always has to be top notch. If the bumper is damaged, it has to be replaced. Each and every part has to be replaced, or else it doesn't pass scrutineering. So
Yeah, can't function at 100% without the bumper.
yeah, yep. So beyond physical training, what other factors do you believe contribute to success of sprinters? And are there any mental or psychological aspects that aspiring athletes should focus on?
Mental health is really, I feel like track is probably 99% mental. You're
Mm-hmm.
in the blocks, and on paper, this girl has ran faster than you to the left of you. And on paper, this girl is the next girl on the side of you has an Olympic record. So it can kind of get in your head, but the best thing to know is like you have to give yourself affirmations like I deserve this, I've worked
Yeah,
hard for this, I belong here, and not compare yourself to other people. And just know like also track isn't everything. It's not do or die. So just being thankful that you do have the talent to even do this is such a awesome thing. Whether you win or lose, just be grateful that you are able to compete on these type of big stages. But mental health is definitely key.
yeah, sure, that's true. Looking ahead, which are some of your personal goals, and
um
as a sprinter, and maybe just out of sprinting, if you want to share.
my personal goal would be I want to break 11 seconds. Personal goal is to break 11 seconds, and that's ultimately my personal goal. And then second, while I break 11 seconds, that will come with making a world team or an Olympic team.
You're an Olympic
um
team.
yes, so outside of that, my personal goals in life, outside of track, that's a really good question. I definitely want to explore and
Mm-hmm.
travel a lot of places. um So that would be my goal, is to travel a lot of places.
Okay. We have 9 minutes now
Ooh,
towards the end of time, but we are
okay.
doing okay. We are perfect. No, no,
Okay.
no sound of alarm because I'm interviewing a sprinter, so we can dash out real quick.
Yes, 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 yes.
Onto the quick fire segments. Your best sports documentary.
Last Dance, Michael
Uh,
Jordan.
Michael, how many MJ shoes do you have?
Ooh. I'm with Adidas now. I'm with Three Stripes, so that was a tricky question.
That's a tricky question. Your best sports athlete?
Best sports athlete, Kobe
Yeah,
Bryant.
Kobe Bryant, Mamba.
Yeah,
Um, your best sports recovery equipment and or method?
Normatec boots.
No,
I love those
you love those.
religiously. Those
Wh-
are my thing.
why do you love them? Why do they stand out of all
I
other recovery
always
equipments?
run I always run fast when I use them, and I just like, especially if I'm flying or going to Kenya, I'm like, I need something to shake my legs back. Let's get it going, and it makes it feel like it's doing something. And I always compete really well when I use them.
Definitely, I've also used I own one. Yeah, I usually use it to help athletes recover here. And I
Mhm.
have a specific client who he's 63-year-old, and he does crazy kilometers. Like tomorrow, he'll be running 50 kilometers up the hills of Kijabe.
Oh,
Then he'll come back to Nairobi and do half a marathon on Sunday. So he's just he's a crazy guy, but so he uses the boots a lot, and it
he should
helps
try
him.
the human tech car.
I should. I'll look it up and try it out.
Okay.
Yeah, so any words, any last words you have for a 17-year-old you, girl uh or guy who is looking up to you? Any last words for them?
Okay, my last words would be you can do it. You If I can do it, you can do it. Like I said, this is coming from
Yeah.
an athlete who is not signed, who knew I just put in the work and be really dedicated and it will come. I My first year I did not have an agent. I was not on the traveling circuit. So, and I didn't win any prize money. Now my second year and third year, I'm traveling, I have an agent, I have a bonus deal. So it can happen if you put the work in. And also I was not one of those people who was a NCAA champion, collegiate champion, and things like that. Like, so you can do it if you put the work in, and it does not matter what people did before you. So
If
that is my advice.
that's your advice, and the last one,
Yes.
just to throw you off a little bit, what will you do different if you go back to 17 years old?
Oh, 17 years old. I um okay, if I was 17, like in running track or just period.
Just period.
I feel like I made good choices. I don't think I would really regret anything. But I don't know. I don't think I had much knowledge in track and field. I would watch
Mhm.
film, but I probably would get more knowledge in track and field. But other than that, I don't regret anything. I don't. So I think um I think it all ended up the way it was supposed to.
Awesome, awesome. Shay, we really appreciate you and
Oh, no
for
problem.
creating time for us and sharing your experience and and all that you'd like to share with the world now, because you
Mhm.
know all this is going to be watched all over. So we really
Oh,
appreciate
really?
your time as well, and for being with us here at Wima Sports. Do you have any siblings, and do they play sports
I do
actively?
have I do have siblings, but they
Yes.
do not play sports right now. No.
Okay.
They
Okay.
used to play football and basketball. I have two brothers.
Okay. Not employed in sports, not participating in sports in any
No,
way.
I am the only athlete in the family.
Let's go. Yeah, Shay. So we really appreciate you. May God richly bless you in what you do, and
Oh, thank you so much.
may God help you achieve all your goals and desires as you pursue and prepare to make it to Team USA.
Thank you.
We are rooting for you from Kenya. Just know you have a second home in Kenya anytime.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's always great love. I had people come follow me once you posted it, and it was like, we
Yeah,
can't wait to watch it. But
yeah.
all the best to Wima Sports as
Th
well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We are looking forward to doing more together. We appreciate
Yes.
you.
Yes, just let me know. This was actually fun.
Okay, we'll let you know. Viewers, until next time, it's your host here, Jermaine Odhiambo, ready to sign out. Until next time, salute.